Me. But this isn't all about me. It's Rhyme and Reason 852.
Here's your rhyme and reason. Oh, yeah.
Hey there, Tony here. Well, you can call me Tony Funderburk because I definitely meet the criteria for that title. And it took me a long time to earn it, by the way, so I'm gonna own it. You better know that. And that means that this episode is going to contain a lot of me talk. But it's really not about me. No, really, it's not. Well, okay, I'll give you a little bit of backstory, okay? I've already lived over 6 decades. Yes, count them, 6. And I've got the silver gray hair and the extra lines in my face to prove it. Ain't no doubt about that. And that's the criteria for my Splendor title that I just mentioned. And it just doesn't seem like it. I mean, 6 decades, come on. Seems like only last week I learned what a decade was. And then I mentioned it to my grandparents that I was a decade old on my 10th birthday. I mean, that just seems like last week. I mean, time flies when you keep getting up and having coffee every morning. Am I right? Am I right? Well, of course I'm right. Anyway, back to me. I don't want to stray too far. Over the course of those 6 decades plus, I've experienced some awesome and some awful stuff. I've traveled across the United States multiple times, and I've sung thousands of songs, thousands of times for hundreds of thousands of people. That's not an exaggeration, by the way. I've truly done that. And I've made a lot of friends, and I've seen most of them turn away and go running the other way once I decided to actually follow my Christian faith more boldly. And I've witnessed many family and other loved ones die along the way during this time. I've written books and songs and poems and articles for fun and for profit. People have paid me for my writing many times, yes. And at times I've made mucho mula from doing it. Other times I've struggled to make ends meet. That's kind of the life of a writer often. But I've met and shaken hands with some famous people. Yep, I've done that. And I've actually had some brushes with fame myself. I've got some documents that I'm not going to share with you, but they kind of prove that. Anyway, I got to say, thankfully, they were only brushes with fame because I'm glad I didn't have the hammer come down on me and go into that whole full-fledged fame celebrity mode. The people that you deal with on that, yeah, that's a whole world I'm glad I avoided. But no matter how many awesome or awful things I've done or seen, it's all going to be like the flower of the grass one day, just mowed and raked and burned and forgotten. That's how it'll be. Unless I go to heaven. And you know what? I'm going to heaven. Because the creator of all life on earth made a way I could do that. And he made it possible to live forever. And he gives every person the freedom to choose whether to go there or not. But only a fool would choose not to go there.
Well, you hid your heart in a so-called safe place, and you locked your love in a big black box, and you had no hope, but you built your brave face, and you ran your rat race through the ticks and talks. Well, the bluebells bloomed in ideal intentions as you tilt the truth into lifelong lies, and you dug in deep, making many mentions of your pretty pensions, always alibis. You can't run away from real truth, and every word of truth is a knife. A captivating voice might pigeonhole your choice. Cut free and choose life. When your daydreams die and you feel half-hearted and your love is lost in a soulless sky, try to train your thoughts When your brain's bombarded by the stuff you started, learn to love the light. You can't run away from real truth, and every word of truth is a knife. A captivating voice might pigeonhole your choice. Cut free and choose life. Choose life. Choose life. You can't run away from real truth, and every word of truth is a knife. A captivating voice might pigeonhole your choice. Cut free. Well, you can't run away from real truth, and every word of truth is a knife. A captivating voice might pigeonhole your choice. Cut free. No, you can't run away from real truth, and every word of truth is a knife. A captivating voice might pigeonhole your choice. Cut free and choose life. Choose life. Choose life.
That's right. You can't run away from real truth, and every word of truth is a knife. So cut free and choose life, like the song said. When I go to heaven, most of what I did here on earth is going to be like the flower of the grass. It's just going to be withered and forgotten. The Bible talks about that. Because it didn't mean anything. It didn't really mean anything what all I did here that had nothing to do with God. And we do it, plenty of things. Every one of us do plenty of things every day that don't glorify God. They don't point to Him. We do a lot of that stuff. And that stuff it's not going to last. They always say you can't take it with you. Even your good deeds, and the stuff that you did that was on the good side, that's not going to heaven with you either. Because it didn't mean anything ultimately. I mean, I can't say it didn't mean anything, because obviously if you spoke to someone about God and they changed their life and they end up in heaven too, well, that has eternal good consequences. But you know what I'm talking about, just the everyday life. Anyway, what won't be burned up or forgotten will be all the things that I said and did that pointed to God. That's what I'm talking about. And that's true for anybody. Whether the poems and songs I wrote for Him, or articles that I wrote, or how I spoke about Him to other people, and the times I talked about Him to anyone who would listen, yeah, those things will forever be part of who I am. So you see how like when I said this is me, but it's not all about me. It's not all about me. But in my life, I'm the only person who will be with me my whole life, every moment of every day. So there is a lot of me to each and every one of us. And really, that just kind of is what all led me to sharing how the same is true for you and me and everybody else. And it's all in your hands to choose how you will go, but you have to choose while you're here on earth. The choice has not already been made for you, despite what many Christians would have you think that it's all part of God's plan. No. 1 millisecond after your last breath is going to be too late to choose. But you do choose. You do choose. And it says even in the Bible, that book, it says that God has set before us life and death. In other words, here's your options, life and death. And it says in the Bible, therefore, choose life. So we get to choose. So choose wisely, grasshopper. All right, and by choice or not, that happens to be the end of this episode of the Rhyme and Reason podcast, brought to you as always by TonyFunderburk.com, maker of fine music, merch, books for kids, books for adults, all kinds of stuff. You can get over there, and you should. Show your support for TonyFunderburk.com today, and that would help me out too. Okay, and remember, life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason why you're here. Give your time and season to the one